In three. Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Lamont, and I am hostess of Ladies Get Your Prance On. And each week, I bring to you this incredible entrepreneur who's going to help you rise, shine, show up. She's going to share tips, tools, and techniques so that you can be your greatest. And so the guest that I have for you today, I'm telling you, the group that she has, and she's going to share, I think she has a person that's helping her. We're gonna talk about that. But this group called We Are Badassery. Okay, this is the hottest group on Facebook. More people are joining this. I mean, everyone is coming out of the woodwork to be part of this. And Samantha Parker is my guest today. And welcome, Samantha.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks so much for this awesome opportunity. And I love that introduction. I was like, of course we're the hottest.
I am telling you, everybody is talking about your group right now. They're like going, where did it come from? Who is she? Where is she from? So first of all, share with us where you're from. How did you come up with the name? Because I love the name. There's always a story behind it. And what is your why for having this group?
Okay, so just the basics, I guess. I'm from somewhere in the cosmos. I don't know yet. Where are we from? But I live in the very bottom teeny tiny corner of Utah. So we're just a little bit outside of Vegas. So it's warm, sunny. It's only not sunny a few days of the year. And today happens to be one of those. I'm like, what's going on? So that's where I physically live. But in the virtual world, I live in my Facebook group, well, in a lot of other places, but our Facebook group, We Are Badassery. And Badassery is just a community support. We're just an open land for everybody to come and share what they're working on. What I think kind of sets us apart, the We Are Badassery Facebook group, is that we don't really have a lot of rules. And, I've seen this trend lately of big groups shutting down, and they're saying they're not sustainable. And I'm like, well, that's because you're trying to police everybody,
Mm-hmm.
So basically our rule is just don't be a dick and, just be nice to everybody. And other than that, we really want people to share their voice. And, the group isn't about me or my co-founder of Badassery Magazine. It's really just about the people. That's what we're based on. So yeah, that's a little bit. Let's see. Your other question was, where does the name come from? So the name, so I co-founded the brand Badassery Magazine. And then we first originally had the Facebook group as Badass Bosses. And then I wanted to change it to We Are Badassery because it's more inclusive. It's more of what we stand from. But the name Badassery holds a lot of power behind it because, being a badass doesn't mean that you show up with your tattoos and, you're starting bar fights. But if you want to start bar fights, that's totally cool. I started a bar fight once. It was really fun. But being a badass means that you just stand up for what you believe in. And the Urban Dictionary definition of badassery is that you render all onlookers as awestruck. And so that's what we continue to do every day in our business. I would love to say that there was this magical decision made behind it. Maybe it was divinely guided. I don't know. But I wanted to originally call our brand going rogue, just meaning we go against the grain and we kind of do what we want, And that doesn't mean, when I say we do what we want, that isn't a screw the man type of mentality. It's we're going to do it our way. We're going to show up and we're going to say the things we want to say in the way we want to say it. So we're not grooming ourselves to be these perfect model entrepreneurs, right? We're just building a brand around who we are. But so the name, Going Rogue, happens to be a book by Sarah Palin. Then I started looking at other things because I'm like, well, sure, she's a strong powerhouse woman, but I don't want to be associated with her. But so we just started looking and exploring other words, and then the name Badassery just appeared. So that's the magical story behind it.
Yes. I mean, you're getting record people joining your group, though. I mean, it's every day, every other day, you're throwing out 50, 100 names of people coming into the group that they're finding you. And one of the things I find really interesting is when you do the introduction, you sometimes give an idea. You're don't tell us what your business is, but what is your favorite cocktail? And, I mean, you have a way of bringing people in so that other people can learn about them, not just as a business sell, saying that I'm a graphic artist. I mean, you make it interesting for people to get to know. People going like, oh, I've been to, London too. I love it. I mean, you really engage people.
Yeah, because honestly, it just kind of comes down to like, we give a fuck. But then also at the same point, like if you are a graphic designer, okay, you probably love graphic design and you love talking about it, but I guarantee there are so many other things that make you an amazing graphic designer. That could be that you make the perfect artisan cocktail. I don't really know, but if you do, let's be friends,
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell people, I'm like, there's so much more to me than, I don't like to self-identify. Like, I don't like to identify as I'm just a mom, or I'm just a business owner, or I'm just a graphic designer. Or I'm not a graphic designer, for the record, but I can make some killer graphics.
There you go.
But, there's just so much more to us. And, as we've like kind of lived in that traditional world and of being told like, these are the molds we have to fit into, like, oh, we shouldn't talk about our personal life, or, oh, we shouldn't talk about this. And I'm like, well, that's what makes us amazing. So how about we start talking about it?
Yeah. And I believe that a lot of this, we've learned this, like the elevator pitch. I go to a networking event, and every time they say, we're going to do a 60-second elevator pitch, I just cringe. I'm like, oh, that's men like to do. Men want to be up front. Like, I sell life insurance. I sell, cars, used cars, whatever that looks like. But women, we want to get to know who the person is. And, and so to me, an elevator pitch is exactly what you do. Tell us about something you're interested in. Tell us about your favorite vacation spot that you've been in, and why, because then all of a sudden you have this connection with them besides of doing business, because you may not need that service. If someone's selling essential oils, maybe I'm not interested right now, but I might know someone that is, that needs that. I mean, it's about building a community, and that's what We Are Badassery is doing. It is building a community, and people I look forward to going into your group and seeing what people are talking about, because it's not just someone spamming their ad and then jumping to another group. That's not how it works in your group, even though they can. Like you said, I'm not going to police anybody. I'm not going to stop them. But people are realizing being part of your group, Samantha, is that it is a community. Like, we welcome you. We accept you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to look like a perfect person, which is segueing over to a post that you shared of yourself. Can you explain the post we talked about before the show, and what is your why behind sharing that post?
Oh, so that post was actually from last December. So I got to take a new one, right? But in December last year, we decided to put out a January issue of Badassery magazine called The Badass Bodies. And what happened was like, I'm like, oh, nobody's going to show up to this. I live in a pretty small city, but I guess my photographer put out like a model call, and all these different women just showed up and wanted to talk about their bodies. And the photographer took, beautiful photos of women and their bodies. Just, some women were like stripped down to their underwear, and they're like, please, this is liberating. Take my photo. And others just took their photo in their clothes, One of those was my grandma. She wasn't not going to strip down. So it's a very, yeah. And we're like, thank you, grandma. But I took the photo, and I was really, really, really scary, right? It was so scary. And I remember looking at the photo and just staring at it. And I wasn't like disgusted or anything by my photo. I was like, wow, that's me. But what I did was I shared that, right, on social media. And when I shared it in January, it got a lot of, like, I guess, attention, people, even men. I had men, because back in January, I was part of a traditional networking meetings, which I know the ones you speak of. I had men coming up to me, and they're like, that was so brave. The one guy, he'd had cancer, and his stomach was kind of tore up. And he's like, I never go swimming without my shirt on. And I could never let someone take a photo of my stomach. And I was like, oh, wow. So this is bigger than just, me, or bigger than just women. So that was really amazing. And then recently I was just browsing through, like, I was looking for an old photo. We have so many photos, right? And I stumbled across it. I feel like, there's divine timing for everything again. And I stumbled across that photo again, and so you can hear my voice like shake a little bit, because we're going to talk about this. But I just decided it was time to post the photo again. Our community's grown by thousands since then, and there's so many people that haven't seen this. But I wanted the photo not to represent the facts that I'm not a size 2, because it's okay. I wanted the photo to represent the fact that you're okay just the way you are, and that you just have to be brave, right? So to me, the post that I put up in my Facebook group, and then I also put it up on my personal page just to like amplify the bravery.
Yeah.
But I just was saying, this is me being brave. And if you want to live that life of your dreams, you're going to have to start being brave. So me sharing my body and exposing me for who I really am, like that's vulnerable. And I'm like, you guys just have to be this brave. I'm like, is this photo easy for me to post? No, it's not. It's not. Like, I would love to say that I threw that up there and I didn't give a shit, but that would be a lie. It took a lot of bravery to post that photo. And that's what I want people to understand, is that every day you have to do really scary things. Every day I just show up no matter what's going on. I have no idea if someone's going to come out of nowhere, or maybe nobody's going to want to listen to us, or, there's just all of those what ifs, but every day I just show up anyways. And I'm just brave just because I need to be. And I'm brave for those who are following behind us who want to step up. It's like, if I can be this brave and I can show you a photo of my extremely imperfect body, my imperfect self, you can show up just as you are right now too.
And share with them what you were wearing, because they don't know what you were wearing. Like, you weren't wearing jeans and a t-shirt in this picture.
No, it was just my bra and my panties.
Yeah. And I would love for you. So when I share the show, I would love for you to attach the picture in the feed so people can see that, because it was brave and it was absolutely beautiful. And the other thing too, that I share with women, that, I have stretch marks all over my stomach. Like, I
always look like I got like put through a paper shredder.
But those stretch marks are life that we gave.
Mm-hmm.
We gave life. Those are our badges of honor. Do you know how many women out there that are watching this that aren't able to have children for whatever reason, and it triggers them because they would love to be wearing those stretch marks? I mean, we have to be mindful of other people's feelings and thoughts. And by you showing up and sharing that picture, that shows such bravery on so many levels, because of the perception that the media shares, of being a size 2 or a size 4. That's not realistic. The average women's size in America is size 16. That's the average size, is size 16. And we have to talk about that and own that. So I just want you to know, I'm very, very grateful for you sharing that and sharing it again, because like you said, it brought up emotions again.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. And a lot of times, I have those voices in my head that's like, oh, Samantha, you're not skinny enough to be successful. Oh, you don't look like Tyra Banks. You can't have your own talk show, or, whatever it is. And it's not true. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And that's part of like being badassery, is that we are our own versions of success. And I don't have to, my physical appearance doesn't even have to look a certain way for me to be successful.
No. It's all what's in here. The other thing that you shared recently, this is why I love you. I'm so glad you're on my show.
I'm like, geez, Lisa, you're a stalker.
I am a stalker. I've been stuck. She's like, who the hell? Lisa Lamont? Like, who the hell are you? But I love your posts. The other thing that you shared recently was that, I believe it was a year ago, I'm not sure the timeline, that you didn't have the money, but yet you invested to go to this event. And it was like right in line with me of something I did 3 years ago. Like, I didn't have the money, but yet I was called to go. And a lot of women entrepreneurs, they're afraid to invest in themselves. They're afraid to take the chance, that they're drawn and they're like, I want to work with this person. And you have this group that I want you to tie into about your mastermind, your badassery group. I want you to address that women are afraid to invest in themselves to go to the next level. So can you talk about that event that you shared, and then talk about this group that you have going too?
Yeah, so absolutely. The problem is we're always waiting to be handed the perfect opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we all just want it on a silver platter, and you're like, oh, I'm going to wait until the timing's right. But the thing is if you have this passion inside of you and you know that you have to grow, like, I know I'm on a mission here to change the world, and people are always like, you can't change the world. And I'm like, oh, fucking watch me, bitch. Yep. But you have that passion. And every time you let those opportunities pass you by, you just lose out. And it could be that one opportunity where, I don't know, maybe you met someone who changed everything for you, but you didn't go because you felt like you didn't have the money, right? So I'm not saying like don't feed your kids or anything crazy. You still have to take care of yourself. But I recently, well, it was like a year and a half ago, I wanted to attend an event in Vegas. And this event is what put the bigger scale perception in my head. I remember sitting in the chair there, and it was like the most powerful women in network marketing. And I'm not in network marketing, but like just being at that event and watching those women that were there, I'm like, holy shit, like there is so much more out there than what I'm seeing. And then I was like, oh, that's going to be me. That's going to be me. So it was really pivotal moment in my life that I made it to that event. But I remember when I got the call and this lady's like, oh, so-and-so has tickets. She's selling them for super cheap, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I don't even have that money to go. So what I did was, I'm so sorry. Someone rang our doorbell.
That's okay.
So I apologize for the dog, but I do work at home. And my kids are home from school too right now. So I'm like,
and we love critters, and critters bark and cats meow. So that's okay.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just real life. Okay.
Yeah, it is real life.
But what I did was I sold my wedding ring, and people are like, oh, you sold your wedding ring to go to an event in Vegas? And I'm like, yeah, I did, and I never, like, at first I was like, what the fuck did I just do? But when I got the check for the ring and I went and cashed it and I paid to go, I was just like, I never once regretted it. I've never like looked down at my hand and been like, oh, that ring. And my husband's in the Army and he's gone a lot. And so maybe I should feel a little more sentimental about it, but I don't. I'm like, what I have with my husband is stronger than just a ring. It's like I could go buy another diamond. I'm sure at some point I would wanted a new one anyways. Isn't that how we work?
Yeah.
I'm like, I could go buy another diamond today now. But at that time, it's like that opportunity was the only opportunity. So the money will always come and go. There is always more money. But these opportunities, they don't. Like, you only get one chance. And I have some family stuff going on right now, and it's like just hitting home even more that life is so amazing, right? That you only get that one trip to go with your family, right? You only get that one last phone call. You only get that one opportunity to say yes to something that could completely change your life. So don't let the opportunities pass you by ever, ever. And that's even like personal relationships, opportunities to up-level your mind, to expand it, coaching opportunities, whatever they are, they're going to fucking be gone. And you're going to be sitting there wondering why everyone else is successful and why everyone else has created all this magic in their life. And it's because you're too busy playing safe.
Yes. And look at you, Samantha, you don't even really know me. We've connected like a month ago, and I asked you to be on my show, and you're like, what the hell is Prancing Kittens? Is that a cat club? What, is it cat breeders? And when I explained to you that the women always land on their feet like a cat, but you said yes before you even knew that. I mean, you didn't just have to, well, I have to think about it. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of busy. I mean, you said yes. You said yes. And here you are. Woo, woo, woo. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I say yes as much as I can.
Well, it's true. And by doing this and saying yes, this is the other point I wanted to say about your group, is that when you say yes to opportunities, then you show up bigger. You're gonna show up. I mean, now you're gonna show up with all my community. I'm gonna show up in your community. There is no competition. There's plenty for everybody. This growth, this opportunity, it's there for all the women that are watching this, and men, because I have men that are prancing kittens now too, because they support women entrepreneurs. Men want to see women get along. They're tired of, cat fights. It's about supporting one another. And you also have this, I want to talk about the magazine, if you will, but also about this group that you started too. You just started like a mastermind group.
Oh yeah. So we have several things for opportunities. So we love to give people a community, a space to share their voice and their passion. But we also, if you have a business or if you just want to change your life, we will provide you with the tools to do that as well. So we have the Badassery Academy. We just closed round 2. So we won't be opening that again till the spring. But we have the Badassery Academy, which is like our biggest, in business technical terms, it's our signature program. Yeah, here's my air quotes.
Yeah.
So we have that, but then we also have, that's open all the time for people to join, is the Badassery Revolution. It's free for the first 30 days. We only charge $34 a month. But we hold like monthly workshops. There's a support group. And then we have what we call the Badassery Vaults. And basically it's so much knowledge, like hours and hours of workshops, tutorials, even things like people ask me, how do you set up reoccurring payments in PayPal? And so we'll just like record a tutorial and throw it in there. So it's a really awesome knowledge bank for you to access. And I'm like, it's only $34 a month. So we want to make sure that everybody can grow as much as possible. But even just like hanging out in our space, our group, you're going to learn a lot.
Absolutely. And then your magazine also, because I think that's a great opportunity for somebody to self-promote themselves too.
Absolutely. That's what we always tell people. I'm like, Badassery Magazine is community, community cultivated. So all of the articles in there come from members of our community. They're contributors. And so people will write in and they'll tell us about their expertise. They'll offer advice, but then we make sure the magazine is digital and it's free. You can read every single issue at badasserymag.com. But all of those issues, since it's digital, you can click, like if you resonate with that person, you can click their photo and you can go to their Facebook page or their Instagram or wherever. So we're really just developing relationships. Like it's like 360, right? It's a whole circle of life. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for you to get your voice seen and heard. And we take articles, and if we don't publish it that month you send it to us, like we always try to incorporate it somewhere down the line. We just have to spread some of the content out, you know? But yeah, it's such a cool opportunity. Plus, like you like, hey, look, I just got published in this magazine, guys. You know, It's like a win-win for everybody.
It is.
And then we also started the Badassery podcast. I think we're like 37 or 39 episodes in. I don't know. It's a lot. But the Badassery podcast is such an awesome bank of knowledge. We've had cool people from like Denise Duffield-Thomas on, to Rebecca Campbell is one of my favorite authors. And then we have Gary Vee scheduled to chat with us on December 9th. So that's another awesome resource for you. I keep saying awesome, but it's just awesome.
It is awesome. Own it that it's awesome. I'm telling you, for those of you that are watching, Samantha is the real deal. And she will love and support you no matter what. She isn't perfect. I'm not perfect, and she doesn't care if you're perfect or not, because we're perfect in our own eyes, and we have to own that and be that and see that. What else would you like to share with women entrepreneurs who are introverted? Because there's half the women entrepreneurs are introverted, and they have trouble showing up live. You know, like we're out there going woo woo woo. What do you have to say to those women of maybe a step or something that they can do to be involved in your community and be part of it? Because some people might be intimidated.
Yes, it's easy to be intimidated, but that's really starting to own your power. So there's a couple things I see with introverts. A lot of people are like, oh, you're extroverted. And I'm like, oh, I kind of hang out in the middle. I've learned that I can put myself out there. I can do this video, and then I probably won't touch the online world for, a few hours. Like I'm out and then I recharge. I'm out and then I recharge. So what happens a lot with introverts is they use it as an excuse to not show up. They're like, oh, I'm introverted. And they use it as like this wall to hide behind. They're like, oh no, I'm introverted. And I'm not saying that in a bad way at all, but what I'm saying is that as an introvert, you just have to learn what works and what doesn't work, right? I'm like, so do the live video. And then if your solace is retreating by yourself in your bedroom and reading a book to recharge, do that, but don't use it as an excuse to never show your face, because it's not the fact that you're introverted, it's the fact that you're scared. And so you have to reprogram your mind to be like, people want to hear what I have to say. And it doesn't mean you have to show up like 12 hours a day. I am not on film 12 hours a day, right? I am not out there. It's little tiny pieces, right? So I'm still staying consistently visible, but then I still have so much of another life. And that's something else I always want to tell people. I'm like, my life is so much more than this wall behind me, right? Like I wish I could just walk around and we could talk, right? One of these days I'll get Wi-Fi that like covers the block, but I'm like, there's so much more to me than just these walls, And so as an introvert, in fact, I know an introvert who's highly successful who was using it as a crutch for a long time. I know a lot. And it was like, okay, they just realized that they were using it as an excuse. And once you stop using these blocks as an excuse, and people have so many excuses, right? Like I have kids, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have the resources. And I'm like, dude, I know a lady who built a kick-ass business she now lives in Sedona, but when we met her, she was living in her car and she was getting on our coaching calls at the library.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, everybody you can find the way and you can find the resources. Just like if you're an introvert, you can find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one more thing I wanted to that I feel I want to ask is, what do you say to the people who are new starting out, and they join all these groups, and then they just do their ad, and then they jump to another group, they do their ad? Do you have a recommendation for them? What comes to mind when that you want to say to these new people that are starting out, how to connect?
So I always say, like, think big, right? So jump in a whole bunch of groups, but don't just like pop in or hit it and quit it, as we've called it. Like, don't hit it and quit it. Stick around, like, you know, join as many groups as you want. Like, try them all out, find what resonates with you. And what's going to happen is you're going to be in one group and you're going to be like, I don't like a single freaking person in here. Like, this is crazy. And you just like, so you think big and then you come back to small and you'll start finding your tribe of groups that really works for you. In my head, I always visualize it like they're actual places, you know? And it's like, you know, that one like hellish vacation, you're like, I'm never going back there, but other people love it. Yeah. Like, I had a hellish vacation once and people were like, how did you not enjoy that? And I'm like, how did you enjoy that? You know?
Yep. It's true. It's true.
It's the same thing.
Some people go to Hawaii. I go to Hawaii. I love it, and then I go there, and I'm like, "What?" You know, I didn't feel like I'm the spiritual divorce. I felt a vortex, but it wasn't a spiritual vortex for me. I like, you know, it was a little bit wonky there. So it's each person to his own. How can people find you, Samantha? What is the best way for people to find you?
So we are basically everywhere. We're at Badassery Mag is like our traditional tat. Like, you can find us on our Facebook page, Instagram. We do a little tweeting. It's not my favorite. Or Pinterest, everywhere. We're just at Badassery Mag. Our website is Badassery Mag. But then mostly I would hang out with us in our Facebook group. It's where we give a lot of time and attention, and it's where you can showcase too what you're all about. So our Facebook group is just We Are Badassery. Search it. It's really easy to find.
Yes. And can you give a shout out about with Kathy, because she kind of helps you run the.
Oh yeah, that's something I kind of mentioned the first time, like my co-founder. So the Badassery brand, Badassery Magazine, we co-founded it. So my co-founder, Kathy Rasmussen, she's like, we're 50-50. She does, you know, half of all the cool shit that happens in Badassery land comes from her. But yeah, so it's really fun because you don't have to do all this alone. And so that was one thing for me is I'm like, the word solopreneur, whoever came up with it needs to be like hung, like literally. Yeah. Because people think that they have to do these things by themselves and they don't. So having a business partner like Kathy who like sees the bigger picture too, she's crazy sometimes. I'm like, we can't do that. And she's like, too bad, it's on my credit card. Now you got to pay it off. I'm like, shit, you know? Yeah.
So sad, too bad. Yep.
Yeah. So it's fun to have someone too. And then, you know, like when things are going on and it's like, I can't show up today, you know, it's just awesome to have someone that's kind of there is like, hey, I got this today, you know, you go take care of your kids or whatever. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I just appreciate you coming on the show today, and I will attach all your contact information to finding you, your group, and people can connect with you. Do you also work with people one-on-one? If somebody just like, they just want to have a consultation with you, or do you do that? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
We do. And I used to have a full calendar of one-to-ones, and then I really like cleared it. And so I don't publicly advertise it. But if you're like, hey, I want to totally up my badassery. I mean, honestly, I've helped hundreds of women build businesses, and a lot of them are extremely successful. And, you know, you see them online. I can start name dropping, kicking ass, you know, I'm like, shout out to all my badasses out there. Yeah. But yeah, so if you're one of those people that's absolutely determined to build a business, those are the people I want to work with, and you'll find me.
Yeah. And I want people to know that you're a great investment in that, because you have been around the block, and there's nothing off topic, off limits. You're the most non-judgmental person that I know in Facebook land. I mean, you accept people. It's just like, honey, I'm so busy judging myself, I don't have time to judge you. It's just like, there's just no time for that. And so I just really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, saying yes to coming on the Prancing Kittens and getting your prance on with the other people here. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. So we will be back next week, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.